Episode 99 of Chit Chat Shop, and I'm super excited. We have a great episode, and we have a little bit of a celebrity in the house. I'm super excited. Super excited. We have Paul Bromby here from Sportsnet. Woo-woo, all the way from Toronto.
The big smoke.
Incredible introduction.
I know.
That was.
We're just so incredible here at Chit Chat Shop. So we're super excited. We're going to do some cool cooking here, and Patty's actually doing the whole episode. No Chef Andrew today. But we're first going to talk to Paul. And we're going to, okay, so first we're going to start. Why are you here? What is the connection to Chit Chat Shop?
Well, Adam, you're executive producer. And
executive producer,
senior producer, executive producer. We were roommates in Halifax when we went to St. Mary's together. I ended up going to Toronto to work for his brother Brett for a company called Winnet.
Good old Brett. Hi, Brett.
Which is a web design company. And this was back in 2000 when people didn't know what a website was. So, yeah, I know, but it was a little frustrating at the time, and so I worked for him for a year, and then we had a conversation. As people leaders, we call them awkward, uncomfortable conversations.
You always move in the uncomfortable.
Which you have to have. And he basically said to me, I don't know if things are working with us. It's time to either shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
So I get off the pot, and then I ended up working at Sportsnet. I cold called Sportsnet. And I get through to a lady who was a receptionist who put me through to the hiring manager, gave me a sports trivia quiz, which I did really well.
On the phone, right there.
On the phone, right there. Just asked me a bunch of sports questions. So I got to the last one, and he asked me, who were the last 3 Super Bowl MVPs? And I said, oh man, by the end of the Super Bowl, I'm pretty drunk, so I don't remember. But
blunt honesty.
He laughed and he said, "You know what? That's great. Bring your resume in 2 weeks. You get the job." And so I started entry level and kind of been there for 20 years. And
certainly worked your way up.
Worked my way up and went in on my days off and shadowed people and learned the industry, learned the business, and it's been fantastic. I've been super blessed.
That's amazing. I love that story.
Yeah, it's a fun story.
It's
a fun story. I teach at Centennial College now. And a lot of them are doing post-grad, and a lot of them ask how to get into business. And I mean, that's not how to get into the business now.
Yeah.
But back then, there was opportunity, and I was very lucky. And I put in the work. I definitely put the work in. And now teaching at Centennial, I enjoy, sharing that knowledge and giving them opportunities and hopefully opening doors for them as well.
Yeah. That's great. That's fantastic. And you do Sportsnet Central, but you also do the Tim and Sid show.
I do. So I oversee. Yeah, you laugh already. Yeah. I oversee the producers, so I'm the senior producer who manages the producers.
Okay.
I have a counterpart, George Skatakis, and we both kind of share the job. Okay. So our boss basically wants one of us there at all times, pretty much. So he has a newborn, so I've kind of switched more over to Sportsnet Central. But when I first started the job, the new position, I was doing Tim and Sid. And they're both. We've all probably been in the industry at the same time. I've known them for a long time. I used to be Cabby's producer. So I met them through Cabby, and working closely with them. I think what people see on the outside is that they just think they show up and talk for 2 hours. Two guys shooting the shit for 2 hours. But the amount of work that they put in daily and the amount of research they do, they're always watching games all night long. And they send, in the morning, they'll send their notes of what they want to talk about in the show, and it's 2 pages of notes, research, stats. And
they're just seasoned professionals.
Exactly, they're pros. They're absolute pros. Yeah, and they're fun. They're fun at times, but they're also very challenging. They really demand a lot in the show, and it keeps everybody on their toes. So it's been an awesome experience so far.
That's great. So for those who don't know, because I think a lot of people don't know when you say you're the executive producer, what does that mean? What is actually, if you were to sum it all up, what do you do?
That's a great question, because I'm sure most people I work with think I do nothing.
I have the same problem. They think I just sit and talk, right?
Exactly. But a lot of it, as you know, is overseeing things. It's managing people. It's trying to get the most of staff, trying to, in our business, trying to be creative, trying to think of new ways to tell the stories. And everything we do is telling a story. Yeah. Whether it's a highlight pack, whether it's a feature, whether it's an interview, you're trying to tell a story. So getting the best out of our producers to produce the best shows, and sales, schedules. It's really, I miss the producing. We call it sitting in the chair. So sitting in the chair, you're in control of the show, you're in charge of the show. And I did hockey for the last 10 years. I was doing all the Maple Leaf broadcasts, Oilers, Flames, Canucks. And during the playoffs, I would do the Hockey Night in Canada pregame show. So that was
cool.
That was very cool,
Yeah.
very demanding, but it's more hands-on. And I'm sure, as you know, you'd rather cook a meal than tell somebody to cook a meal.
Yeah. Opportunity for leadership. That's what we always say, right? Like,
Yes.
it's hard to do that, right? And I wasn't necessarily a great leader. I've learned a lot over the last bit. And it sounds like you guys are doing the same thing. It's hard to do, but it's really important because you got to have them coming up the pipeline, right?
Absolutely, and I coach kids from ages 6 up to 16 basketball at New Horizon Basketball, and we do summer camps 5 days a week, and each day we pick a subject, and leadership is one of them. And when I played basketball, I wasn't the best player on the floor, I wasn't the best player on the team, but I was a vocal leader. I was always a rah-rah guy.
Yeah.
Let's go, good job. You know, guys are coming off the court, and I'm telling them, you know, giving them little things. But that's the difference. I'm more of a vocal leader, more of kind of encouragement, where some people just, they'd rather do it and show it on the court. And I was more the vocal guy, and not always the best player.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
You don't have to be the best player.
No,
Where
you
are
don't.
now, right?
As long as you're on a good team, that's all that matters.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. You're coaching. You said 9 to 16. Sort
Well,
of
it's
that age
actually,
range?
it's about 6 to 16.
Cool.
About 6 to 16. I do more of a house league skills camp.
Okay.
So we do a warm up, we do a skill, and then we play. But it's not like your usual house leagues where everybody has their jersey, they show up and they play against each other.
Okay.
It's very hands-on, instructional. I like to correct the kids as they're going, so they're not reinforcing bad habits.
Bad habits. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of it is, and I say this for the parents and when they come in, is that I'm trying to create better people and basketball players. I don't let them hang their heads. I don't let them get frustrated. One of the most important things I teach them is confidence. I ask them almost every day, what's the most important thing about shooting? And they all yell out confidence. And what's the most important thing in life? Confidence. Believing in yourself. And very similar to your story.
Yes, yeah.
Having a goal and believing in it and looking forward and pushing it forward. So
Yeah.
that's kind of exactly what I love to teach kids, what I preach kind of in the workplace as well.
Yeah. And you also do some work in the mental health side of things, youth mental health.
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I guess more of it started out kind of, my mom was bipolar manic depressive. She spent a lot of time in the Nova Scotia hospital. So growing up, it wasn't, I mean, we're talking in the, I'm a little bit older, 70s, 80s, 90s.
I grew up in the 70s.
Yeah.
I'm there with you.
People didn't talk about it.
No, they
didn't
didn't.
talk about mental health. I had dinner with my aunt and uncle the other day, and they both were basically like, we didn't talk about it. We didn't even explain it to you. They didn't tell me what it really was, why it was happening. So I think, you know, over the years, I bottled up a lot of that. I wore it a lot. It became my burden.
Yeah.
Her mental health became my burden, which is not healthy. And it came out in negative ways with me. A lot of time it was anger, yelling, playing basketball, I'd get frustrated. And I've had to learn over the years of how to deal with those emotions. And I've been very vocal online, social media, especially Bell Let's Talk Day. It's very important to me because nobody talked about it when I was growing up. So I feel like this is just the tip of the iceberg, I think, with mental health, and really bring it to the forefront, really openly discuss it. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. You shouldn't be embarrassed about it. If I was to sit here and say, oh, you know, I have cancer, wouldn't be embarrassed to tell you. I would hope some people would be empathetic about it.
Yeah.
And I think we need to have that same empathy for mental health.
And if you look back, you can imagine if it had been discussed and had been talked about and you had felt in a better place about it, how that would have changed and impacted your life, right?
I thought I was the only person in the world whose mom was sick.
Yeah.
I literally thought she was the only person. I mean, I knew there was other people, but I didn't know of anybody that was going through my experience, and that led to resentment towards her, which wasn't fair. It was she was doing the best she could, and so that's why now I'm very vocal about it, because I don't think kids should grow up, you know, being resentful and not understanding why, and I don't think parents should burden and carry that guilt either. I mean, when I talk openly about mental health and social media, you'd be amazed at how many parents will reach out to me and say, thank you for saying that, because I do feel guilty. I feel like I'm screwing up my kids. Yeah. And I really do say, and I'm proud of my successes, because no, you're not screwing up your kids. Yeah. Like, that's your mental health. They have their own. And it's on each one of us to figure it out. to figure out your own mental health, figure out what makes you happy. If you feel like you're getting in a rut, you know, go to the gym, go work out, go for a run, go walk in nature, read a book. I read books and I golf, and I do things that make me feel better about my own mental health. And I know it's not that simple when people have mental illness.
Yep.
But I think in the day-to-day, it is important to recognize it and
talk about it.
And talk about
Yeah.
it. Exactly.
And like you said, tip of the iceberg, I think we're doing a better job. I certainly feel that. Like, my kids talk about it in school, they talk about it with their teachers and their friends, and I think they're better equipped, but we still have so much, so far to go.
Yeah, 100%. And I talk with the kids. I teach basketball too, but it's in a different way. I try to present it so it's not as heavy as mental health can be. If I see a kid takes a shot and hangs his head, you know, I'm like, wait, don't hang your head. You know, you missed a shot, so what? If you make half the shots you take, you're probably going to be an NBA Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And so I you know, just now go to the next thing. If you missed a shot, okay, I missed a shot. I can either try to go get the rebound, or I can get back on defense and do something positive. So don't let those negative thoughts in your head, whether it's in sports, in life, snowball.
Yeah. On the note of mental health, I mean, you're writing a book.
I am, and this is something that I've always had in my head for a while now. And so my son is in this thing called sport ball, and I met this guy Jason DeRocha, who has done a book called Nothing But Yet, and that's basically about a kid that started playing basketball but expected immediately to be good at it, like expected to just walk into the gym and hit shots. But it talks
kind
about
of my son.
it talks. Well, I feel like this is this generation of children, because they have everything at their hands. They have a tablet, they have instant gratification. But this book is talking about putting the work in, and he had to put the practice in to get better. And so I spoke to him about this. I think it's a great book. It shows kids you got to put the work in to be good at something. So I had an idea of a boy and basketball and his mom and mental health, and so we started developing this story for a children's book, which kind of follows up on the main character in his book, whose name was Kai, who now plays at a different level of basketball and meets Paul, a young Paul. And a lot of it is with his mom, with basketball, and carrying the burden of his mom's mental illness. And that's kind of a tease for what the book is going to be. Yeah. We call that in the biz a tease. But that's what it's going to be. I feel very strongly about it. The people I've introduced to it, writers, people in the mental health industry, they love it as well. So I can't wait till it gets going, and I'm pretty excited.
So when is it out? When is it?
Well, right now we've written it. We've started the animation. So I would hope summer, fall would be when it would be out, and I'll definitely come on again to talk about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right, we love that. We would love that. All right, so we're going to go cook now, and it's all Patty all day. So, I mean, no Chef Andrew. We're going to cook a Maritime classic, because, you know, you came home to the Maritimes. You missed the Maritimes.
So we're making donair subs.
Oh, yeah, no. Patty does not do donairs. You are no, that is the wrong.
I was told donair subs. This sucks.
Yeah, no. Everybody here loves donairs, but no, not happening.
No.
We're going to make Patty's seafood chowder.
Sounds much better.
You like seafood chowder?
Yeah. Okay. The donairs was a joke.
I know. But I don't joke about donairs.
No,
my husband's not allowed to eat donairs.
No?
No. Yeah. Well, actually, he does occasionally when I'm gone. We're here. We're in the kitchen. We're gonna cook. Woo woo! We're back with Paul. Look at
She's excited.
In an apron. Look,
Thank you.
She's a little excited for
Yes.
you? She was a little excited there. Was she too overexcited?
No, she's okay.
Overexcited?
She's okay.
I'm not.
I thought
I
you
don't
were
get
fine.
overexcited.
No, not at all.
Never get overexcited.
I like the energy.
Yeah, good energy. Good energy, right?
Positive energy.
All right, so you're a Maritimer.
I am.
We're gonna make chowder because it's authentically Maritime.
Amazing.
And well, I think you said you like seafood chowder.
I
right?
love seafood chowder. Yes, I do. When I'm home, I try to have seafood. I won't eat seafood in Ontario.
I wouldn't either.
No, I don't. I don't risk it. I do not risk it at all. So
unless it's like pickering, is that the lake fish up there?
Pickerel. Yeah,
Pickerel's
pretty
really
good. Or bass. Yeah, bass up there. But I wouldn't eat seafood. No, not at all.
Yes, no, I'm with you. You said you don't do a lot of cooking at home because your schedule's like.
Yeah, I don't. I do a lot of cooking at home. I should do more, but my schedule's all over the place, and I work mostly nights. So.
Yeah, I get it. I get you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can like take this back and like on a special occasion you'll make your seafood chowder. All right, so we're starting with butter. I've got it melted here in this lovely pot. And we're going to add our onions. We're going to saute up our onions. Let's see if the burner will work. Andrew usually does this part. No, There we go. Okay, we'll turn that on. All right, have you ever cut an onion?
I have cut an onion before.
Have you cut an onion the proper way?
No,
okay,
probably not.
we'll give you a
Probably
little demo. So I've
learning.
got some cut already, but I'm going to show you how to do an onion. So we're just going to put about, the butter's a little brown, but that'll make it nice and tasty. So we're going to do onion and we're going to do celery. Chef Andrew prepped this all out for me, thankfully. I love that.
Because he felt bad that he left
He
you
felt
alone.
bad that he left me all alone for Chit Chat Chop. No, I'm kidding. He's busy. He's got a lot of classes to teach. So we're going to season that up, salt and pepper, and then we're going to do our lovely onion
Are these
cutting
official
demo.
measurements? Like
These are patty measurements.
These patty
That's kind of the way-
measurements?
woo, that's kind of the
okay.
way it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
So
Patty was
what
the-
would one pinch be so for the people at home, what would one
pinch would
be?
probably be like a quarter of a teaspoon-ish. I should be talking grams and not teaspoons, but that's approximately what that would be. Yeah. All right, so onions. So when you go to cut an onion, if you peel it off and leave a little bit of the root tip on, right? Cut it in half, and then I'm gonna show you a super trick,
This is
okay?
exciting.
Flat hand down, and you're gonna go on the edge of the cutting board, and you're gonna go almost all the way back. Can you see under there? I know you're so tall,
I
it's a
can.
little shadowy down
I can
here.
see it.
Okay, so you've got 3 cuts, then you're gonna go down the onion, and the root is keeping it all together. We do this a lot in cooking classes and in our soup demos, and then look, you have perfectly diced onions. See?
That is a heck
So
of a
much
trick.
faster.
Yes, that is
So
way
much.
faster.
Why don't you finish that off, chopper,
Why
Paul?
don't I?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I don't end up in the emergency room later.
You tuck your fingers under, you're gonna
Oh.
chop them right off.
Oh yeah, this is bad.
You're being put to the test. No, that's great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, look, he's mastering it. He's an expert at everything.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah. Professional onion chopper.
this is nerve-wracking. We're gonna leave that right there.
You did a really great job. Really great
Thank you.
job.
Thank you.
All right, so with chowder, it's really simple. You just need really good fresh ingredients. So we have some lovely Nova Scotia halibut. We use a lot of halibut, and so we keep the trim, and then we use that for chowder. We also have some cold water Nova Scotia shrimp. People think that shrimp, the big shrimp, are local. They're not. They're all farmed in Thailand or China. But we have beautiful, sweet, cold water shrimp that you should use if you're here for local.
Mm-hmm.
We have some lovely rock crab, which is also local as well. And, rock crab and lobster. He's got that together. And then we have a stock. So this is just a fish stock.
You mentioned local a lot here.
Yeah.
Why is local important to you?
Oh, it's very important. One reason that's a great question. Why is it important? Well, obviously you want to support the local economy. You want to support the local farmers. And from an environmental aspect, why would you bring in products from other parts of the country or the world unless you really, really had to, unless it didn't grow here? Those are the reasons local are important.
Is that
to
a
me.
staple for your business, to be local?
It is. It's very hard in Halifax to be 100% local, right? As you came in this lovely wintry
Yeah,
day,
yes.
it's really hard to grow things. There are some indoor farms, hydroponic and things, but really at the end of the day, our peak months are sort of June to October from a harvest perspective. But certainly from a protein perspective, we use local pork. We support the pork shop. Our chicken comes from the valley. Any of our fish and seafood is all local. So yeah, it's definitely, our beef comes from PEI. There's a producer in PEI, Atlantic Beef.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say we're almost there. We're
Yeah.
never going to get 100% there, but we're almost
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Definitely local food movement. All right, so we've got the celery and the onions and the butter, salt and pepper. Simple, simple, simple. And you just sort of, how do you let the butter go a little brown? But that's okay, because you just work with it, right?
Yeah.
So what you're going to do at this point is we're going to build a roux. Do you know what a roux is?
No.
Okay. A roux is butter and flour that you put together and you stir it down and cook it, and it thickens things. So most sauces, a mother sauce would have like a bechamel or things would be have a roux as a foundation. You can do cornstarch, but it breaks after a certain time, and I just don't like the texture of it in chowder. But if you need a quick, but definitely roux for chowder is important. I don't like a lot of roux because then you get that gloppy kind of chowder, like thick, like in the bowl, like it just hovers on the spoon, and you're like eating porridge. Yeah, no, that's not what we're doing here.
How much you put in here?
Well, so a proper roux is equal parts by weight butter to flour, but Patty is not doing that today. Patty is just putting it in the pot, and we're going to see. It should look like wet sand by the time you pull it around. So you shouldn't see really any liquid left. I need a little bit more. And the key to a roux when you're cooking anything is you got to cook the flour out. If you don't cook the flour out, which takes about 60 seconds to 90 seconds, you get that super gluey kind of starchy taste, which everybody's had a sauce that tastes like that, Alfredo sauce or something that hasn't been cooked out, and it has a very floury kind of taste. I feel like I should get you over here. You're just sitting here around so well.
Well, this is how much I cook at home.
Yeah, but you got it all down. Like you got the techniques.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
when I said, hey, you're gonna come on the show, and he's like, yeah, it'd be great. I go, yeah, and you're gonna cook. He's like, I'm gonna cook.
I'm gonna cook.
This is all the cooking you're gonna do.
This is
so
all
that's
okay. Good.
Okay, so you guys
I'll
go back
perfect this.
roommates.
Yes.
Tower
we were
Road
roommates.
days. Did you guys cook then?
No, I'll tell you a good story though.
Oh, stop it! I know it's going.
Oh, I
night-
love dirt on Adam.
One night, Adam, I came home and we may have been drinking.
Yeah.
Adam
May
was
have
not,
been
may have
drinking?
been. I
Okay.
came home a little later and there was this delicious looking sub in the fridge,
Oh.
a half inch, like a 6 inch of a 12-inch sub, and I ate it. And then the
course.
next morning, I heard Adam downstairs screaming and yelling, "Who ate my sub? Who ate my sub?" So I came downstairs like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" I was like, "Who ate his sub?" We had to find whoever the culprit was that ate his sub. So we went asking everybody in the house who ate his sub.
How many people lived in this house?
It was five. It was five of us
Oh my
banging
gosh.
on doors. Did you eat Adam's sub? And then finally I broke down laughing and he was so mad at me. Still mad at me today, I guarantee.
He doesn't like sharing food
No,
either.
he
That's
does
the other
not.
thing. Like, you can't
Oh
take
my
a fry
God.
off his
You
plate.
can't, no, you
Oh,
can't.
and he loses his
Yeah,
mind.
he has issues.
He does. He does. All right, we're gonna add our fish.
Should I keep stirring?
Yeah, keep stirring. We're gonna
Okay.
add this in. So this is our fish. It's actually a bit of lobster in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Stock, and you're gonna see that like it's pretty liquid here, and then it's gonna thicken up. And with a roux, like with any thickener, you have to bring the liquid up to a boil in order for it to thicken. So we're gonna bring that up, and then we're gonna add in our potatoes and carrots. Now I've already pre-cooked these because we only have a limited amount of time on Chit Chat Chop. But normally you would put these in raw. So cubed potatoes, PEI, Nova Scotia, you name it. Again, cubed carrots. And you can put, like, some people like corn as an added sweetness, but I would only probably use corn if it was in season. But I'm kind of a purist, so I kind of like the basics. We're gonna add these in. I don't know if I'm gonna add them all because, you know, this is a little hot. Andrew might have over prepped this a little bit, but that's okay because he prepped it. We're all good. All right. Yeah, look at that. Doesn't that look lovely? There's no
does
fish
look
in there
lovely.
yet.
No.
But you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
One other thing is all the vegetables, and we point this out in some classes, are about the same size. And that's super key because if you put big chunks of carrots in there and little potatoes,
It won't cook the same.
ding ding, he wins. Like, excellent, excellent. Okay.
This is what my job is like. I know overall how it works, but I don't do the work. Yeah, this is pretty much what I do at work.
I love it. All
Overseeing things.
right, I'm gonna put a little more stock,
Okay.
just a bit. All right, and then we're gonna add our seafood in. So, cold water shrimp comes already cooked. So you're never gonna get raw cold water shrimp. We're gonna add those in it. And I like a lot of seafood. That's
Yeah.
just, yeah. If you're gonna make chowder, you gotta make it like,
Yeah.
you know.
It's got to have
Oh.
actual seafood in it.
And some people like salmon in their chowder. I'm not a huge salmon fan in chowder, so we usually use either haddock or halibut. And again, we had halibut on hand, so we're gonna put that in. Keep still. Look, he's got the stirring thing down, man.
Yeah, I feel like a pro.
Onion chopping, stir.
So do you have cooking classes here as well that people
We
can learn how
do.
to stir like
We
this?
do.
And cook
You
properly?
could come teach one, actually.
Oh yeah. We might have food poisoning.
We do about 15 classes a month, and Chef Andrew, who normally is on Chit Chat Chop with us, he teaches the majority of them. I've done a few. We're going to expand, and we're going to have some guest chefs in and things in. Like, you know, we've got a year under our belt. We opened it last April. Yeah, but like tonight we have a date night in Rome.
Oh.
So you come as a couple, you cook as a couple, you eat as a couple, you have some wine. Awesome.
You argue and leave as a couple.
Never.
Never,
It's
no.
not that kind of class.
Oh
no.
I had a different kind of relationship.
Did you? Oh, you're so funny.
That's why I'm a single dad.
Oh. How old is your son?
He's 6 actually. His
6?
name's Austin.
Oh,
Yes.
Austin.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
6 is
I
such a
joke
great
around.
age.
Actually, it's funny. His mother and I get along better now than we ever did. So co-parenting together is definitely important for us. So I joke and kid, but we get along great. And Austin's a great kid.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
wish when I hear stories of people that don't do that once
Yeah.
they separate, it's such a game changer for your kids if you can like still
Yeah.
co-parent and get along and be friends. I know that's not
Absolutely.
always possible, but
I spend Christmas morning there, Christmas
Yeah.
dinner. We do birthdays together, us three still as a family type thing. Even though, I mean, it is difficult at times, but I feel like if you're not being parents together, your son's missing out, or your
Yeah.
child's missing
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You're only hurting your child if you're going to be stubborn and still fight over dumb crap.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Does he love sports like you?
He loves sports. He loves
Awesome.
hockey, actually, and he's a better
Okay.
skater. I'm not a great skater. He's a very good skater, and he's a good hockey player. So it's fun watching him play hockey and do a sport that I had never done, and so it's very kind of rewarding that way. I enjoy taking them there early in the morning, 6 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I really don't. I don't mind it at all. And
I would have a parent fail in that category, 6 a.m.
It's kind of funny the first few months of trying to put his gear on because I had never played hockey. And so one day we were about to go on the ice and one of the coaches like, he has his skates on the wrong feet. I'm like, oh. I'm like, Austin, you put your skates on the wrong feet. So there was scrambling to get his skates off, but it's fun.
How you learn, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was fun.
Exactly. All right, now we're going to add whipping cream. This is the key to amazing chowder. So some people use milk with bechamel, and it thickens it up. But you really need to finish with whipping cream, in my humble opinion.
And why do you finish with it? Why do you not put it in before this process?
Because if you put it in and you bring it up to a boil, you will break the cream. You probably won't break whipping cream, you'd break blend. You can break whipping cream at a certain point, but there's so much fat in whipping cream that it takes a little bit longer. But yeah, you always add cream at the end. So if I was to make this and I wanted to serve this tomorrow or the next day, which chowder is usually always better the next day, I would take it to this stage and I would cool it down and put it in the fridge. And when I bring it out and heat it for my guests or my dinner party, I would add the cream at the end. Little entertaining tip from
Because I was going to say, the color isn't that white color until...
When you heat it, do you heat it in a pot again or microwave?
Microwave?
That's what I know of.
Microwave!
Oh my God.
Microwave!
No.
Microwave!
Oh my God.
Microwave!
Cut!
Well, this is why I asked, because there's probably some stupid people out there who would just throw it in a microwave and just idiots. Who would do that? I wouldn't do that.
Oh my
But,
gosh, you're hilarious.
There's probably a dumb person out there. It's like a PSA. You don't microwave this. This is art.
You definitely don't cook, do you?
No, I do. I
In a
microwave everything. I microwave everything.
No, truthfully, if you work a microwave properly, you could. You would have to heat this on a very low power.
Oh, I just hit 3 minutes.
I know.
3 minutes doesn't be good.
No. So if you did like time, and you did like 5 minutes, power level 3, and stirred it every minute, but if you nuke this, you're gonna like make the seafood rubber.
See, I'm so glad I asked that question for those
me
idiots
too.
out there who would have just thrown it in the microwave and heated it up for 3 minutes and.
But if it was you at home, you would take a pot out and you would add it to the pot and you would heat it up and then you would add your whipping cream. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would totally do all of that.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Let's see, one more taster. I hope I got my carrots Chit, let's taste a potato.
No,
I think we're good.
Yeah,
I think we're good. Good job.
Hey, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Very proud of what we've done here.
I know. Well, I am too. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're going to take
Cooking
this
with love.
We have some buttermilk biscuits that were made this morning, and we sell a lot of biscuits in the shop. This underneath.
Where is your shop located?
Our shop is located at 110 Higney
Always
Drive.
producing. Always
in
producing.
Dartmouth. Always producing. I love him. He should come on the show a lot.
Every time I come home now. I'll come
You're
on.
going to come on Chit Chat Shop?
Yes.
100%. I did bring a ladle. Okay. You ready to taste it?
I am ready to taste it.
And give me your honest opinion.
Well, it smells delicious.
Okay.
I made it, so I'm going to say it was good.
You're going to say it was good? Ooh. Are we ready? Oh, look at that. Here, that's a lot. So do this and then look, watch. Ready?
Good form. Follow through.
Parsley Bay.
Parsley Bay. There you go. Give her up. Give her up.
All right.
Let's see. Taster tester.
Taster tester.
He's doing the carrot. He's testing if they're done.
Oh, wow.
You like it?
That's delicious. We did a hell of a job here.
Patty still cooks. Boom, boom. No, I'm kidding.
Patty kicks ass.
Is it hot enough? Want to heat that up in the microwave? It's not
Yeah,
hot
you
enough.
want to nuke it?
I'm going to nuke it up here, see if we can make the seafood rubbery.
The other thing I would say, if you're going to make this at home and you're going to wait a few days, make your base stock. I know, it's good, eh?
Oh, wow.
Best chowder you ever had.
It is the best chowder I've ever had, and I love chowder.
If you're adding a whitefish, which is really delicate, like your halibut or your haddock, I would wait until you reheat to add those in. You can always add your shrimp and your lobster and your cold water shrimp. You can't all add them at the end, but I would suggest adding those and then add your whitefish in, and then it won't flake off and break apart as much. Yeah. We'll send you away with some too.
I just had a piece of shrimp. It was delicious.
Yeah, they're sweet.
They are sweet.
Yeah, super sweet. Awesome. I
Can we
feel
wrap
bad he's
so I
like
can
way
eat?
over
No,
here.
can we wrap so I can eat all this? I'm just gonna take the pot.
Well, we have, as our new season 4, we have a new thing at the end.
Really?
Adam curated this.
Well,
Your
basically,
roommate.
it's been about 20 years since you've lived in Halifax. You grew up here.
Yes.
But we got to make sure, are you still a Maritimer? So we need to do a little trivia to make sure you're still considered a Maritimer.
Shout out to the North End, by the way. North End, Halifax.
The North. The
North
North.
End, yep.
We the North.
We the North End. We the North End.
You guys started that. You
Yeah,
guys
we did
started
start that
Yeah,
a
you're
long
trendsetter,
time ago.
yeah. So we thought it would be fun. You've been gone for 20 years? 20
I've been,
plus
yeah,
years?
20 years.
Okay.
2000.
And we're not trying to date you. 'cause
No,
you're super
no.
young.
I lucked into getting a job at 15.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
so it's great.
Okay. So we thought we'd test and see how much of a Maritime you still are. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. You ready?
I am ready.
And the questions, all devised by me. No, Adam curated this whole thing. Okay. Question number 1. What is the Bay of Fundy world famous for?
Oh, the highest tides in the world?
Ding, ding,
Boom.
boom. Okay, when driving across the Nova Scotia border from New Brunswick, there is a sign saying importation of these are prohibited. Do you know what those are?
Bumblebees or bees.
Honeybees, that's right.
Honeybees,
Good job.
Good job. Okay.
2 for 2.
What is
I'm not
no-
just a pretty face,
Ah,
Patty.
I know.
I'm not that either. But I'm
Professional
not.
stir,
Yeah,
professional chopper.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, gosh, the list goes on.
Pays attention to signs when you drive.
Yeah, when he drives, it's important. What is Nova Scotia's flower?
Oh, now you probably stumped me.
I didn't know what it was.
You didn't? Oh, man.
It's a buttercup.
It's a what?
A buttercup.
No, it's not. The trailing arbutus.
He's lying.
He says trick question, but I don't understand.
No,
Because I have no, I didn't even know there was
no.
one. I have no idea. So that was a
This
trick
is like
question.
The marigold. Or so, I'm just gonna make a flower up as well.
The trailing arbutus.
Now
I don't
you
even
know.
know if I'm pronouncing
Wow,
that correctly.
now you know.
Now you know.
There you go.
Where's the blueberry capital of the world?
Oxford, Nova Scotia.
Ding, 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 ding. The winner. Finish the words. Oh, the year was 1778.
I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Should I scream it and smash my mug on the table on the lower deck? Yes, I should.
You should. Sobeys has a commercial that comes out every year at Christmas. What is the song called?
I can't remember. I'm failing the test.
Something of Christmas.
Star of Christmas?
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. What wrestling foundation were Sweet Daddy Siki,
This one.
the Stomper, and Mr. McLuck
Mr.
part of?
McCluckluck? Well, this is shout out to Ken Reed because this is the Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling Federation.
Oh, and he knows
And,
it. Of course
and
he
we
does.
played the theme song at Sportsnet. We do, Ken Reed and I, which drives Ivanka Osmak, Batty, and the producer Ryan Moynes, because we say, well, so I'll walk in and say, "What's going on here, bud?" And I'll say, "What's saying there, shoes?" So we go really thick accents when we say hi to each other at work, and
wow.
everybody else kind of rolls their
Rolls their
eyes.
eyes.
But we're gonna do
They
it.
expect
anyway.
it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We're gonna do it anyway.
Who still hosts CTV News Atlantic at 6 p.m.?
Oh, I know this one. It's not Fons Jessom.
Nope.
No, but shout out Fons Jessom, by the way. Not Paul Meunier. Steve Murphy.
Steve Murphy, he got it.
Yes.
Big win, big win.
I gave a couple
okay.
shout outs there.
So next question. Who is the mayor of Halifax?
I do know this
Okay,
one.
good,
Yes,
good
yes.
to
I'm
know.
actually staying with someone who works with him, Natasha Gibb, Mike Savage.
Okay. He wins. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, what is dulse?
Dulce?
Yeah, what is dulse?
Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know.
He doesn't know. It's okay. It's seaweed.
You know, bags of seaweed. That's called
Dry
dulse. That's
Oh
seaweed.
wow. Yeah, we don't have that in Ontario.
Oh, we could import some to you. Export it out.
Import
Yeah.
some.
What is more amazing, Magnetic Hill or Reversing Falls?
Oh, I would have to say Magnetic Hill. It's just incredible.
I would say there's no right answer.
No, there really isn't.
Is that the answer on the sheet? It says there is no right answer to that.
Answer. No.
Okay, we're almost there. This was known as the last chance for romance. And
Well,
I
there's
bet it sounds like you frequented this.
I did frequent this place. I was never looking for romance.
Oh,
I
no,
was
you
just-
were not?
I was just there to spend good times with friends.
Quality time, yeah.
That would be the Palace.
The Palace.
And it's sad that it's not still here.
I know.
Yeah.
I
but-
spent a few days there.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll
I
just
think
leave
we
it
all
there.
did. I think we all did.
When I say dollar drinks and 5-cent wings, you say
JJ's.
JJ's.
Yes, JJ's is another staple that we all miss.
We all miss.
Yeah.
I agree. Have you ever danced on the speakers at Jerry's Pub?
Have I ever not danced on the speakers at Jerry's Pub? Yes. And I actually, my favorite was a little Bobby Brown, and I would do every little step. I would do kind of the Running Man, the little Roger Rabbit, a little mix it in.
Okay, two more.
Two more.
Who won the 1998 CIAU basketball?
99.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah, I was gonna say,
1999
it was Bishops in 98.
CIAU basketball
The
championship.
St. Mary's Huskies, who I was a proud member of
Proud
that
member.
team. Yes.
And the hub of Nova Scotia is where?
The hub of Nova Scotia is where Arash Madani is from, and that is Truro, Nova Scotia.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah.
All right, we have a few overtime questions. Are you ready to go into
I've
overtime?
already looked like
You stressed? A little
I've already
stressed?
looked like I'm from
Beats of
Ontario.
sweat.
I was like, this
Okay, these are mostly. Oh no. Okay.
Okay.
Who was the toughest player to guard in high school?
Oh, the toughest player to guard in high school. Well, I played at St. Pat's. See, this is another thing. I played at two different schools, of course. When I played at St. Pat's, I would say William Njoku or Tom Dobson, who went. And
Okay.
so I ended up going to the West to play with those two, and then I would say Tyson Beals, who played at
He remembers
QH,
these things.
and he was incredible.
Okay.
Had he played university, he would have been one of the best players to play around. He was an absolutely incredible athlete and really good player, and a good guy. He would
Awesome.
kick your ass with a smile.
Love it.
Yeah.
What about in Toronto right now when you're playing? You play pretty high leagues there. Who's the toughest guard for you?
I would say in Toronto leagues, the toughest guy that I guarded, first of all, I don't play a lot of defense, but when I was pretending to play defense, this was Andrew Wiggins' dad, Mitchell Wiggins, who played in the NBA back with the Houston Rockets, and myself, Andrew Gibbs, Sean Francis, Titus Chandler, all of us, like, we were in our early 30s, and this guy was scoring 40, 50 a game on us.
Wow.
And he was probably my age now, like mid-40s, late 40s. Mid to late.
Early 40s.
But he was incredible, and then it just showed you the difference of what level you thought you were at and the NBA level of a guy who played it 20 years before. So yeah, it was
Wow.
pretty incredible.
What was the toughest thing to get used to when you moved to Toronto?
I think first was the cold, because it doesn't get super cold here. It gets cold enough as snow, and I would wear like a spring type jacket. So when I first moved there, it was minus 40, and I just was like, what the hell is this? Like, it felt like you just didn't even want to go outside. That and just everything is 2 hours away and costs $20 at least.
Yeah.
So everything was expensive. Traffic is terrible, and I still to this day miss home every single day almost. I think of home. I wish there was opportunities that were in Ontario at that time here that I could have stayed. But I also think it makes you appreciate the Maritimes and being home a lot more, being away from it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I traveled for 10 years. I was in Chicago. I was in Alaska. I went to school down in the States.
Yeah.
And I always thought I would live away.
Yeah.
But it pulled me back. Right?
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's just the people here, the warmth. I did a hospitality show where crews would go, and so I sent them to Nova Scotia, and I knew they were going to say this, but when they got back, they go, I could not believe how friendly the people were. And it's true. It's just, this is home. The people are beautiful. The people are the fabric of what makes it an amazing place to live.
I agree. Well said.
Thank you.
That should be an ad
For
for the Maritimes.
it really is.
What is something that people would be surprised to know about a Sportsnet Central broadcast?
Surprisingly enough, and this is the same with Tim and Sid, that it's live. That we're pretty much always live.
That must be hard.
It is hard, and people are making split-second decisions. Things often go wrong in the control room where you're about to go to a piece of tape, which is now off a server, but it's not there, or it isn't playing, or something crashes, the whole system crashes, but you're still moving.
Wow.
So, and then that is what makes a great producer, is when shit hits the fan, when things go wrong, at home you would never know. And it happens quite a bit, and
Sounds like catering.
yeah, and it's how you handle it, what your plan. You have to have plan A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Live television, and I think that would surprise most people, is that it's always live.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
I guess I didn't.
I don't think a lot of people know
Yeah.
that, but it's always live. Yeah.
Look, learning so many things. Okay, you took a different route, but what would you recommend for someone looking for a career in TV production?
Yeah, I took a definitely different route.
He took a long and windy route.
And everything I've done is a long and winding route. Winding route. I would say if you were going to get into television production, I think you would need to. Storytelling is pretty much the important thing of everything we do. So I think having a good basis in writing, having writing skills, journalism course. something along those lines where it would be very based on writing.
Okay.
Researching any great story, like Arash Madani is a perfect example. We sent him to the Super Bowl, and we had a meeting 2 weeks out, and he had 7 amazing researched ideas of stories he wanted to tell
Oh,
at the
wow.
Super Bowl. And people don't see that; they just think it kind of comes together. However, but
Yeah.
anything writing-based, information-based, researching-based. But I also think no matter what you do, you have to follow your heart. And
Yeah.
if that's what you want to do, if you truly believe in it, then you better go for it 100%, because it's a very, very cutthroat industry that I don't want to say it's shrinking, but you really have to sell yourself and you have to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
I teach a Centennial. We had 27 students this year. And it's going to be tough, and you think to get a job in sports broadcasting, but then you also have Ryerson, you also have Humber, you also
Yeah.
have College of Sports Media,
Yeah.
and there's a class coming out every year. So how are you going to separate yourself from the crowd?
Yeah. No, great advice. Be passionate. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Unapologetic and be passionate. All right. Nicest athlete you've ever met.
Nicest athlete I've ever met. There's probably 2 of them, which I'm sure will surprise a lot of people. Kevin Garnett is one.
Okay.
So I was doing NBA Excel, and we were always in the States with Cabby and I, and he would always come up to me and say, "What's up, Canada?" And like I was the whole country. But he recognized me from Canada, and he would always say hi. Even even if I wasn't paying attention, I'd get a tap on the shoulder, he'd say hi. Just a genuinely good guy. And Latrell Sprewell was the other guy, which was infamously known for choking his coach, PJ Carlesimo. And so you automatically think this guy is crazy, or he's got issues or whatever, but something probably happened in the heat of the moment. But he was such a nice guy.
Really?
And he's had a windy road of a career, and but he was a super nice guy, very accommodating with the shoot. He gave us tickets to go to the NBA Players Association party, which had all kinds of amazing performers there in LA. When we got there, he's yelling across the crowd, "Hey, Paul, Cab, how you guys doing?" Just super nice. And I felt like any athlete I've met, and I've met most high-profile athletes, most of them were pretty good. Sidney Crosby was one of the nicer guys I've ever met, like just genuinely interested in what you were talking about, not just standing there. I met him at the Danny Gallivan tournament this summer, and he's friends with Ken Reed. So Sidney Crosby, Latrell Sprewell, very different guys.
Yeah.
But what matters to me is not how good they are at their sport, but are they a nice person?
Yeah.
And do they have time for people, and how do they treat people? Because at the end of the day, I don't care how great you are at sports, it's how you treat people.
It's funny, we have a rule in our house, which a lot of people get a little shocked at, because my kids are, 9 and 11, and I started this probably when they were 5. And I probably did it as in the beginning for a little bit of a reaction, but our number 1 rule and only rule is don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Because it applies to every single situation. And it's exactly what you're saying, right? It doesn't matter who you are, just be really nice, be kind, and don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole is a great rule.
It's a great rule. I love it.
It's a solid rule around the house.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole and lift the seat.
And people are like, yeah, exactly. Any on-air bloopers that you can share?
Oh.
And I will tie that into the next final question, which is my
On-air
son
bloopers? Yeah.
loves Jack Armstrong. And do you have any funny stories or bloopers about Jack?
I have a funny story
Okay.
about Jack. So I had started out in the industry. This is probably my 2nd year in the industry, and we had the NCAA tournament. And so Jack was with Brad Fay, who's become a really good friend of mine. And so we had the second weekend. It starts. There's all kinds of games the first couple of weeks. So that we usually go out the second or third weekend together as a group.
Okay.
So we went out as a group, and I was talking to a lady at a bar.
No.
Were
Were you being charming?
I was trying. So I was talking, and all of a sudden Jack Armstrong comes out in his suit, and everybody knows who Jack is,
Yeah.
like everybody.
Everybody.
So Jack's like, "Mr. Bromby, what time do you want me in tomorrow?" And I'm looking at Jack like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then he's like, "What time do you need me in?" So I just like 1 o'clock, and then he goes to tell the lady who I just met that I'm one of the top executives in sports broadcasting in Canada. Stay close to this guy. He's going places. He's a rising star in the industry. And so, just unbelievable, like just totally full of shit. And I'm basically at intern level at that point. And so I'm just looking, I'm like, damn. thanks. Yeah, way to go. So, anyways, Jack next day comes up to me with this big
course.
smile on his face. Paulie B, how did everything go? I was like, everything went well, Jack. Thank you. So, he told this story at the Danny Galvin tournament this summer, and I was howling. I was blushed. First of all, I was like, I cannot believe you're telling this story. But yeah, that's the kind of guy he is. He's a great friend and really funny.
Yeah, I think he would be just the coolest guy to hang out with.
Well, next time he's here, I'll see if I can bring him.
Yeah.
He was just here
He was
last
just
week.
here, I
He
know.
was sleeping in the airport. I know, and
which
everybody
I
was
said.
tweeting out. Yeah.
He was just here. Next time he's here, I will bring him by.
Okay.
We'll bring him by for chowder.
Chowder. We'll
Yeah.
make chowder.
Chowder.
Chowder. I mean, that's awesome. I have to say, I've heard many stories about you. All
Oh,
good.
boy.
All
I
good
love
stories.
those.
All
good
good.
My
stories.
favorite.
The charming Paul is
Yes.
coming, and so when we heard you were here, we were like, "This is awesome!" And so, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's great to have some history of Adam,
Yes.
and also hear about all the cool things you're doing.
Well, this was really fun, and I love your place.
Thank
and,
you.
If you're in the Halifax, Dartmouth area, you have to come check it out because the food is delicious. But even more important, Patty's not an asshole.
And on that, we're done. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Put that on your business card.
Don't be an ass. I'm not an
Patty's
asshole.
not an asshole.